Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment.
Yes, sirree, bye.
And so, sis, you are up first this time. What you got?
Okay, so what I have is it is a Netflix movie. It's very cute.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I thought it was cute, but then it's just like all the rest of the rom-com movies. But it is a family affair.
Okay.
Now, this movie is starring, you have Nicole Kidman, and she plays Brooke Hayward. Yeah.
I remember seeing this.
You have Zac Efron, who plays Chris Cole. You have Joey King, who plays Zara Ford, who is Brooke's daughter. And then you have Kathy Bates, who is Leela Ford, who is the mother-in-law of Nicole Kidman. And then you have the best friend, who is Liza Koshy, who plays Jeannie. Okay, so basically what it is a cute little movie. So you have Joey, she's working for, I'm sorry, not call her Joey. You have Zara, that's her character name. She is working for Chris Cole, who is Zac Efron.
Oh, okay.
She's like his personal assistant.
Gotcha.
Now, she's supposed to be his personal assistant until he gets her into where she can start producing and directing and being able to do stuff like that. So it's like she was supposed to start at the bottom and then work her way up. Well, she's getting tired of being at the bottom. And with her being tired of being at the bottom, she is tired of... He has this thing that he does with women when he breaks up with them.
Okay.
And so because he's like a ladies' man, you know, he's the guy on TV that everybody wants. He dates a lot of women. And what he does is when he's ready to be done with them, he makes them seem like everything's okay. And he'd be like, yeah, so we're just done. That's it. All right.
Oh, wow.
And they're just like, what? That in at the end. And then he comes and then he gives them a parting gift of diamond earrings.
So that softens the blow, supposedly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, supposedly.
Gotcha.
So, well, how the movie starts off is that she is on the phone talking to Chris Cole on the phone, and he's like, I need you to hurry up and get here. I need you to hurry up, like, I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And that's because she had not given him the diamond earrings for him to give to the girl to break up.
Okay.
So now he's in the car with Zara, and that's what he's singing. Do you believe in love? He's like, I'm trying, Cher.
Believe in love after love.
So, but with that, she's like, you are just like the worst. Like, you don't have to do this with every girl, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, did you not see me in there? He said, I had to stall for so long to break up with this girl. And she's just like, okay, so he's very selfish. And then she's just like, oh, I can't stand this. But lo and behold, she's selfish as well. She's like, she is not, what I'm looking for? She's not self-aware.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
She's not self-aware. So, now she doesn't have, so now she's in the car with him, arguing with him. They go back and forth. She comes into work the next day. Everything's good. And then she's just tired of his BS, basically. Tired of his BS. And then she's like, you know what? I'm over this. I can't keep working like this. And he's like, well, you know what? I don't want you working here anymore. You can go. And she was like, thank God, because I was going to quit. And the cleaning lady was like, no, please don't leave. Like, no, stay. You know, you're like part of the family. Like, no, please don't leave. But she does leave. Things are going okay. Zara goes back to her mom, and she's like hanging out with her mom and just explaining to her mom everything that's going on, and how she's like, you know, I just busted my tail for him, and he's just an a-hole. He is not a good guy. He's so like caught up in himself. It's just, I can't do it.
Yeah. Can't be with him anymore.
Yeah, and her mother tries to give her like different viewpoints on the whole situation, and like, you know, hey, this is your job, this is what you wanted to do, so you can, you know, this is your stepping stone to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so now she's like trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. She's hanging out with her friend Jeannie. They're all hanging out, having fun. Now Jeannie's going through some issues with her boyfriend.
Okay.
So, you know, she's telling Zara about this, but Zara keeps going and's like, yeah, and I can't believe that he blah 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 blah, and she's talking about the guy Chris, like her boss.
Oh, right.
And now Jeannie's just like, okay, I guess I'll just leave my relationship stuff that I want to talk to my best friend about
Out of it. Yeah. I won't talk about it because you're taking over the conversation.
That she is like, not self-aware, and she is very selfish.
Yeah.
So you get like that. Yeah. So you get that from there. Now, Chris shows up at her house, and the door cracked open. Chris shows up at her house, like at her mom's. Front door's cracked open. He goes in. He's saying hello, hello. He keeps walking. Now Nicole Kidman is off in the library, like redoing some books or something like that. I can't remember. She's cleaning or something like that.
Okay.
So he goes in. He starts talking to her. And they're talking and chit-chatting, and next thing you know, it's like, all right, let's have a drink. So now they're drinking, and they're just sitting there talking, and he's just literally like, hey, I just want to let you know your daughter's awesome, and I really wanted to come and see, like, tell her, I want her back. Like, how can I get her to come back and work for me? Like, what is it? Mm-hmm. So their conversation about, what's going to happen with Zara ends up being like an intimate conversation where they end up talking about their own lives.
Oh.
Yeah, and then that's where the rom-com comes in.
Oh, okay.
Because lo and behold, they start baking out.
Yeah,
and there's a big age gap because,
of course. Yes, that's her mom.
And that's her mom, and then that's her boss.
So how does she feel about all of that?
So she walks in, and she's like, gross, where y'all just like in the middle of
And it's
intercourse.
a guy you can't stand.
Exactly. That just fired you.
Right. Exactly.
But was coming to beg you to come back to your job.
Yeah.
So, but then Zara just takes it, and she doesn't know what to do with this information. She starts to act out, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And yelling, screaming, all this other stuff. But she's still so tied up in herself. She's not paying attention to everything that's going on around her. So she's not paying attention to her sisters and her mother and Chris are falling in love.
Okay. She's not paying attention.
She's not paying attention. Okay. She's not paying attention.
She's too wrapped up in herself. Yeah.
She's not paying attention to the fact that her best friend and her boyfriend are having problems.
Yeah, because she talks about herself.
Exactly. So she goes to her grandmother's, hangs out with her grandmother. Grandmother's like, suck it up. Your mom's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand what the problem is. And then she's like, Grandma, you just don't understand. She's like, I understand she's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So let her live her life. If this is what the life that she wants to live right now, let her do it.
Yep.
It is her life. It has nothing to do with you. And then it goes into, well, are they going to be dating? Are they not going to be dating? Are they really going to be thinking about the girl Zara?
Yeah, it's long term, or is it like, no,
it's
this
the
is something
same
close.
Storyline
as a Hallmark movie?
Every other rom-com.
Yeah.
But it does have the cute things in it because, they have, it's the little funny things in it that I like.
Okay. So you would recommend it for sure, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, not for sure.
Well, maybe not for sure, but you're like, if people like rom-coms, you would.
Yeah, if you like rom-coms, absolutely watch it,
Yeah.
It's not as pull on your heartstrings as the idea of you.
Okay, I didn't watch that one. I don't watch a rom-com much.
It's not like that, but it is, it is cute. I like it. It's good. It's a cute little rom-com. Zac Efron, please.
Stop doing face work.
Please. Bro, you look like David Hasselhoff, bro.
Oh my gosh. And he's too young for all of that anyway. How old is he? Like in his 40s? Like early 40s?
He might be 40.
Yeah. But I think he's warped because he's been in Hollywood his whole life. Yeah. Like since a kid. So he's like, I look old. And you're like, no, you look normal. I don't understand.
Why does nobody go to the soap opera?
The soap opera face people are amazing. Now, other than the fact that that's what I was going to say. There may be something like if you want to look this good, be on a soap. Because I'm telling you, Nikki looked like Nikki from the 1980s till now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Dr. Marlena Evans looks amazing.
Jennifer Aniston's father.
Oh, yeah. Victor Kiriakis.
Yeah, Kiriakis.
Yep, Victor Kiriakis.
My whole entire life, he's looking exactly the same.
Exactly.
He's
always
been an old
man.
Yeah, he's always had gray hair. He is the white version of not Samuel L. Jackson, of Morgan Freeman. I've never seen Morgan Freeman young. I've never seen Victor Kiriakis young. So
oh, my God.
That is, yeah.
Or Victor Kiriakis or Victor Newman.
Victor Newman, yes.
Victor Newman feels like he's been like at least 40s, 50s the whole time. Yeah, exactly. Like, has he ever been in his 30s? But he's been on there probably 30, 40 years. Yeah, exactly. So he obviously was younger at some point.
He must have started in his 20s and was acting like he was in his 40s.
Oh my God. He may be. Because he was somebody's daddy then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 1970.
Nick and Victoria, he's been their dad forever.
Yeah, in 1970. Like, his kids on the show probably look worse than him now.
His kids on the show could probably have grandkids. I don't think they do yet, but they probably maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't really watched it, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it is cute. It is. Yeah, I mean, it's just cute, something for you to watch. Yeah. You know, it's not saying that you're going to love every single second of it, right? But it is a cute movie to watch. Like, if you just like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and like, I don't know what to watch. Let me put this on.
Yeah, put something on and check it out.
Put something on and check it out. Yeah, there you go. Put something on and check it out.
Yeah, and that would be the thing.
Put something on and check it out. All right, go ahead, sis. What do you have?
All right. What I have is a show called Act Your Age. I don't know if anybody has heard of it. It was on Bounce. However, it has moved to Netflix. And you probably know some of the actors because it has Kim Whitley as Bernadette. It has Tisha Campbell as Keisha. It has Yvette Nicole Brown as Angela.
Wait, what is this?
It's called Act Your Age. It was on Bounce, and now it's on Netflix. Show? It's a TV show. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, and at one point it was trending. It was like top 10 TV shows that people were watching on Netflix. So, but
when it first came out, I think I do remember seeing that.
Yeah, and then you have where Yvette Nicole Brown's daughter is played by Mariah Robinson. She plays Olivia. And then you have where Kim Whitley's son is Nathan Anderson, and he plays Jacob. So you have Bernadette, Keisha, and Angela, basically, right, for this particular show. And so for the most part, Keisha and Angela are coming to Bernadette I think she's like a real estate developer in New York City, right? And so she's getting married. So they're so excited, and they both are in the elevator when the show starts. So it's Keisha and Angela, and they are just like, they don't like each other. So one's looking at one side of the elevator, the other one's looking at the other side of the elevator, and they are just like, hey, how are you? Okay, I'm fine. How are you? And then they're like, we are well, I'm going to see my best friend. And they were like, well, that's funny because I'm seeing my best friend. Yeah. So I don't know what you're talking about, kind of thing, right? So she was like, plus I got my best friend this wedding gift. Yeah. And she was like, did you get her a wedding gift?
No. Wait, I thought was it a wedding gift? Was it? I thought she said I got my best friend this like moving in gift or something like that. Because I don't know. She didn't tell her that they got married, right?
Oh, well, they were getting married. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
10 minutes in
it. So what ends up happening is she has this gift for her. And so, Tisha Campbell, Keisha, is like, oh, I don't. But right as they ring the doorbell and, they're getting ready to walk in, she snatches it and is like, we got you a gift, kind of thing, So Tisha Campbell's character is just basically ratchet. That's her. She's just the ratchet one. Now, Angela, on the other hand, she is very prim and very proper and dresses very conservatively because she and her husband are like, I guess you could say that they were like the, as people were saying, like the Obamas, basically. So they are like, he was the mayor or governor or something like that, and he passed away. And so basically she is now a widow, and I think it's a widow. I don't think she's divorced. I can't remember. But anyway, she's alone. But I think it's a widow. So anyway, and everybody's like, she's just alone.
Anyway, is she alone?
I can't remember which it is. I should have took better notes. But basically, they are just like, oh, sorry to hear about, Davis and all of that. So, so anyway, before Bernadette, I was trying to think of her name, gets married, she's like, hey, she pulls Keisha to the side and says, hey, I got something to tell you. And she was like, what, girl? And she was like, I slept with Davis. And she was like, now I'm getting ready to get married and I want to clear the air about stuff. But also knowing that my dear friend is dealing with some things, I, don't want to, yeah, because she's not.
There's no animosity.
Yeah, exactly.
No
like you don't want to ever say anything, horrible about somebody, like that. So anyway, she was just like, okay, like I don't know if you should tell her and all of this. Like you take that to your grave. You shouldn't tell her. She's sensitive about things. All of that. So anyway, they end up meeting Bernadette's fiance, and all of that goes well until it doesn't, meaning that Bernadette realizes, you know what, maybe this is moving too fast and maybe I shouldn't get married right now. And he's ready, she's not, so they call it off. So because of that, what ends up happening is that Keisha and Angela, in a kind of solidarity moment, because Angela's like, I don't have to rush back home. And everybody's got money too. Everybody is like independently wealthy, I guess, because Keisha's got her business that's made her money. Angela being the governess or whatever, she has money. Governess. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyway, so everybody's got their money. And so based on that, they're just like, well, why don't we just stay? Like she just said, I wish my girls could just stay with me. I wish y'all could just stay. And so they were like, well, we don't really have anywhere else to go. So why not?
Our companies run themselves.
Right, exactly. And so based on that, what ends up happening is that her best friends end up moving in. And of course, Keisha and Angela always have drama. That's just, I mean, not always, but they got some drama. The only time that they came together was when Bernadette invited two other friends.
Oh, so now
so when she invited two other friends, and they were like, because Keisha was like, I don't like them because they're just nasty. Like they are just mean and condescending and they're nasty. Okay. And then Angela's like, but that's you. So you thinking that they're that way. Yeah. Like I probably will meet them and they'll love me. Like they just don't love you and you act like that. So they're probably giving you the same energy basically. And so then when Angela meets them, she was like, oh no, these ladies need to go down. Like this is ridiculous. And so based on all of that, you have where finally the two of them kind of start acting like they actually can be friendly towards each other. And then also you have the storyline of their kids, right? So you have Angela's daughter with Bernadette's son. They're living in an apartment together, but the parents don't know that. And it's not even a relationship. It's the fact that he dropped out of school, moved in with Angela's daughter, but hasn't told his mom that he's moved out of school. So dropped out of school. So therefore, when she calls, he's like making sure she's not in the way. No girl stuff is around. Like, hey, mom, on FaceTime, trying to act like he's still in school. And she's like, where are you? Kind of things. Like, that doesn't look like a dorm, And so basically, it's like layers of drama outside of just these ladies trying to live together. Friends. Right, exactly. But it's really cute. It's about them, like, Bernadette trying to, just become her own person after this relationship, and as well as Angela in a way. You have Keisha, who honestly I don't think has ever been in a long-term relationship. She is just like the party girl. And she will just see like the UPS man dropping off something and be like, boo. What's up? No, okay. Like that's her character, And so there's episodes where, because all I've talked about so far is really like the first episode. First few minutes, Yep, the first few minutes. But there are episodes where, for example, like they decide to do like a triple date. So it's like, oh, let's just have some guys come over from a matchmaker because they can pay to have like $1 million matchmaker to hook them up with some people. Okay. And so then they'll have the guys come and they're like, oh, we'll hire a chef so that the chef can cook. And then we can focus on, are we going to paint or are we going to do this or are we going to do that kind of thing? And so that's a debacle. I'll just say that. Okay. It went left. And then even when they tried to throw her before she even called off the wedding, like a bachelorette party, that didn't go well either. So they have some things that happen that just are just funny. It's funny. I really enjoyed it. I don't like a lot of, comedy. I mean, I'll do some comedies, but this one I thought was really cute, and it had a ton of episodes. I want to say it was like 12 or 13 episodes. So it wasn't like you just watch 6, 7, 8 episodes and then it's over. Okay, it was nice and long, and it gave you
because usually a good, it's like 6 to 8 episodes.
No, it gave you a good storyline. It was it really went through a lot of different iterations of them as women and them growing, them connecting, becoming more friendly with each other and all of that. And like I said, kind of some solidarity around when some other people from the outside come in. And so basically, I liked it, and I would recommend it. So if you haven't watched it on Bounce, because I don't even have the ability to watch Bounce as far as I'm aware with my antenna. I can't pick up that channel because I don't have like cable, so I stream everything or have an antenna. I can't talk. Antenna.
I wonder if it's the thing that with if you get it like a freebie channel.
I don't know, but I just
when you
know.
hit the live on your
like if you can see it, maybe on Prime or Tubi. I mean not Tubi. What is it one called in here? Rico? No, what is it called? Roku.
Rico. Okay. Yeah, I know him.
I couldn't think about what it was called. I was like, because I rarely watch the Roku. I'm always watching the Fire Stick one. Yeah. So, but anyway, but I thought it was cute. So definitely check it out. See if she finds out about her son. Find out about the son and that daughter's relationship outside of what you think it is. Like it's a lot going on, but it's really cute and I liked it. So. Okay. All right. What you got next, sis?
All right. So I want to talk about tampons.
Okay. Sure. Why not?
So I was looking at the tick to the talk.
Take it to the talk.
And this girl who I've been following pops up.
Okay.
She's like, she always starts off with crazy stuff I've seen on the internet this week.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And this is what she talks about.
Crazy things I've seen on the internet today. If you use tampons and you are not interested in having heavy metals in your body, including lead and arsenic, you need to listen to this. A study looked at 30 different types of tampons from 14 different brands. They tested the tampons for arsenic, barium, calcium, cadmium, cobalt, chromium, copper, iron, manganese, mercury, nickel, lead, selenium, strontium, vanadium, and zinc. Some of the tampons that they tested had all 16 metals. Specific brands were not listed in the study because they want to do more tests. But we know 3 of them are Tampax, Kotex, and Playtex. And you might be saying, well, I use organic tampons, so I'm fine. You're not. Metals were found in those organic tampons as well. I've been seeing...
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So some people have shards of metal in their cooter.
But is it really shards of metal or is it
I think it's just probably the metal from this... Because, I feel like there's metal in everything because you're going to have the metal in order to grind up whatever you are doing.
Yeah,
so the metal to go ahead and
taking
pull
the cotton or whatever
and
grinding it up to make it into a ton.
I feel like there's always going to be metal in it. Arsenic, though?
Yeah, it's a lot. But this is what I said. But then
apple seeds are also arsenic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, contain arsenic.
Different. Yes, seeds are for sure. The thing is I said this and I will continue to say it. Mm-hmm. Men run the world.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So therefore, because of that, if this were something that was in Viagra and it was arsenic and everything else, it would be banned. It would be off the shelf.
Absolutely.
They would have never even made it with that.
FDA will come out with a national apology to every man that's taken a little blue pill.
Because it is something that women are dealing with. Therefore, it's like cramps, right? If men had cramps, there would have been a cure for cramps 3,000 years ago. However, because men don't have cramps and they don't know what that feeling is like, therefore, then nobody has a sense of urgency to ensure that it is something that is taken care of for women. Yeah. I feel the same for
because I feel like tampons and pads should be free.
They should.
I can't help. Free. I cannot help that my body just wants to flush out
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So I just feel like, I'm not surprised. Yeah. I am saddened by that, especially knowing that as a woman who isn't in that stage of needing that stuff all the time anymore. Yeah. Let's just say it that way.
Saying your age, okay.
I didn't say, I just said, not all the time. There's still some time, but not all the time.
Yeah, but that's still so,
but let's just say that I think of, okay, well, then that was probably 30 years of my life of having those types of things in my system. And could that cause things like fibroids? Could that have caused things like sterility for women? Is that the reason why women are having such a hard time getting pregnant? Is because you filled your vagina and your uterus with arsenic and metals.
Yeah. Cobalt.
Right. Or is it why there's more kids with autism and more kids with Down syndrome, more kids with, various, disabilities. And so it does make you think and wonder, like, what, you're incubating a baby in there. And if you can be so lucky to even do that. Yeah. And so once that happens, like, where does all that stuff go? Because I had always heard that certain things like that have to be flushed out your system. Like you have to do some level of detox or something like that to get those things out. So,
She also talked about a dengue fever.
Oh, I think I heard of that before.
What the heck is that?
Is that African?
I don't know. Hold on. Let's talk about it here.
Look, you're going to go find it. I feel like I heard about it. It's like a mosquito bite does that.
Yeah, here you go.
Far too many videos on here about dengue fever, of people being diagnosed with it and people thinking that they have it. I saw at least 15 videos today, with most of them originating in Florida. The problem is, when I searched about dengue fever in the news, only 2 cases came up in Key West. Now, this is not shocking that the news is underreporting something that's going on. And every single video talked about how they think that the news is underreporting dengue fever. Just so you know, it can cause flu-like symptoms with severe muscle aches and joint pain, fever, and sometimes a rash. Of course, those symptoms do represent many different illnesses. But if you have been bitten by a mosquito and you have these symptoms and you suspect it might be dengue fever, you should probably go get checked, because there are some symptoms that can be life-threatening. This last one really has...
That's not great.
It's not. And I feel like the earth is tired of us.
Who knows? It's possible.
It's one thing after another after another.
It's the 7 plagues.
It is. We got the cicadas. They could have took in for the locusts. So I don't know.
It's a lot going on.
But yeah, there is a lot going on. And... excuse me, I just think that it's the end of the world. And
oh, wow. We're going that far?
Yeah, that's just how I feel. Dengue fever?
I mean, but it's been around. I mean, you could Google it. It's been around
I wonder
forever.
if it's a West Nile. It's just a different name.
That's what I'm saying. It's like something that, if I'm remembering correctly, it is something that if you go to Africa, they tell you that you could potentially get dengue fever. Like that's something that you can get when you go.
Like malaria.
So, yes. And often they will say, okay, do you want to get shots? Do you want to get vaccinated so that way you won't get the malaria and the dengue, and it's something else that I can't remember, but it's certain. Yellow fever, maybe yellow fever. I think you can still get and all of that. And so therefore there are shots that you can take so that way you will hopefully not get sick while you're there, because the insects, the bugs, the things that could potentially, your body is just not immune to it. Right. You're not used to it. Right. Environment all the time. Exactly. And so, I don't think that it is like, I think that it's bad in regards to the fact that people on American soil are getting this and having this, because of course, as everything with West Nile and all of that, H1N1s and all that kind of stuff that we've always had, different kind of flus that go out. It is basically like it'll start in a small pocket and then it expands. And so it's almost like if it doesn't get cold enough, quick enough, then it can continue to expand. So therefore it doesn't die out.
It would be nice if they were proactive about this.
Proactive?
Yeah, no, that's too much like right? So if they were proactive about it, and then they could be like, hey, we need to go and figure out what this is that they're giving to people overseas, so we can have
I'm sure that they probably are treating the people with something that's gonna,
but they need to, if it's gonna be something that's gonna be an
epidemic,
yes, then maybe they should say, hey guys, boop, stop looking at the old men on the phone, on the TV yelling at each other in gibberish. You can't understand what they're saying.
Oh my goodness.
And listen to this. It's a breaking news report. Dengue fever is here. If you feel like you have these symptoms, go to the nearest hospital. Get this shot.
Yeah, maybe it's not just irregular achy bones and things like that. Okay.
But there's nothing. Is there anything that says that? No.
I don't think so.
You would think, but I was just saying that you would think that, okay, this is coming from another country. But then also, how many other things do we have coming from other countries that people die from every day? So,
facts.
I digress.
Digress. Okay.
But
I do digress a lot.
You do digress a lot. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about that. But then the whole tampon thing, I think that is They're not saying the percentage of how much, like the percentage of metals that are inside of the tampons. So it could be 0.0000001% of cobalt inside of the tampon. Granted, you don't want to have 0.0000001.
You don't want anything, right?
Yeah, but it could be something that's just very little. I don't know if it's to the fact where people are like, burn the tampons.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's something like that, but
then it makes you wonder, even if you go to the cups as an example,
then
that's plastic.
Silicone made, but
right?
It's a silicone, so then it's like,
does it have a covering on it? Yeah. Does it have anything on it that could potentially make it so that you have any side effects from that?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, is
it BPA free? So many things.
I don't know.
So,
yo no sé.
Yeah, yo no sé. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But that's what I just want to talk about is the metal tampons.
Okay.
And the dengue
fever.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am going to talk about Game of Thrones, new version of the newest season of House of the Dragon. Well, let me tell you. Okay, so it's weird that the song is exactly the same. But do you watch the starting credits or do you fast forward through them? This is just a question that I have.
So
for people.
after the Game of Thrones, I started watching it.
I know, it's so fascinating to watch because everything that has happened to this point, you start to see unfold in the beginning. So for anybody who watches this and you just say, I'm just going to skip, I already know it's going through all the houses and blah, 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 blah.
It changes.
But it changes every episode.
Like with Game of Thrones, they kept going to maps of different areas, and that's where the show was going to be taking place. Why are we in sand? Oh, that's because we're because the show's at the beginning of it.
So if you watch the first episode or maybe second and people were getting hung, by the time you watch the next episode, you see that there's hanging people, and it's this going on and that's going on, and the kids, somebody's throat is slit.
I
already said it. But anyway, I know.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Look, first of all, it's House of Dragons / Game of Thrones
HBO
lore.
just be killing people out in the streets.
That they know that people die of all ages and races, and you think you're following the main character of the show, and I'm still upset about Ned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because there was the third episode on it.
It was within the first 6 or something, but it was weird because you just knew you were going to be following him forever because you followed him for the first 6 of 9 episodes.
And in all reality, you were following Arya.
And you're just
that's what I feel like when you go back and look at it. Like, I'm really following Arya
from the whole time.
It starts off with Ned and Arya and her doing her little thing with Needle,
exactly,
and then it ends with
her watching that happen and everything, and it's just oh my gosh. So maybe it's Arya's story. Yeah, Arya was
Arya was the beginning and the end.
The beginning,
and
I just put that together when you said that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I don't know why. But it's Arya. So if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, just know you can hear from the excitement in our voice.
You can tell from us professionals.
that if you watch Game of Thrones, just keep an eye on Arya. She's the bomb.com. So anyway, so for the new season of House of the Dragon, it is in its second season. And so basically it has characters. You have Prince Daemon. He's a Targaryen. So you have the Targaryens who have the dragons, for people who don't know. And for people who do, it's so many names that I can't keep it straight. So I'm trying to look at something to help me to understand whose names are who. So you have Daemon, who is basically from the first season, the king's brother, who thought he deserved the crown, but he didn't get it. And then you have Emma Darcy, who plays, and Damon is Matt Smith, but Emma Darcy plays Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. That is his niece wife. That's the easiest way to describe it. It is what it is. He married his niece, so his niece is his wife. So it sounds very twisted, but that's what they do when you
keep the bloodline
pure, which is what the British do, the royals do too, to a degree. So, it's like the Queen and Prince Philip
I guess Adam
were
and
cousins.
Eve did it with Cain and Abel,
So what it is that Emma Darcy, by the way, if you ever see her outside of this show, you will not recognize her. Yeah. She looks completely
Spagliato.
different.
You ever seen that? You ever seen that? Oh, it was all over the internet when they asked her what her favorite drink was. She was like a Negroni, Spagliato with Prosecco in it. And everybody was talking about that.
Oh my God, remember that? Like I'm gonna have to look that up now on TikTok.
It was when House of Dragons first came out.
Okay, when it first came out. Okay, yeah. Perfect. So she plays Queen Rhaenyra. Then you have, I'll just go through a few people. So you have Olivia Cooke, who plays Queen Alicent. You have Eve Bess, who plays Princess Rhaenys, which is funny because you have Rhaenys and Rhaenyra, and their names start off spelled exactly the same. I think she was named after her aunt.
Yeah.
So her aunt was Rhaenys, and then you have Arrhenius. I don't know how you say it exactly, but then you have Rhaenyra. Mm-hmm. So that's them, and then you have a bunch of characters. That's the one thing about this series is that there are 550 characters that you can go through the list of. But I'll start and stop there. Oh, and you have Sir Christian Cole. So we'll go there.
Oh, you get the Valerians.
Yeah, and then you have the Valerians, right? So they are basically...
They look like the black Targaryens.
Yeah, they are black Targaryens. So all Targaryens have bright blonde hair. And you have black, basically, Targaryens who have bright blonde hair. And
but I don't know what they are.
But they're not. Yeah,
they're not Targaryens.
No, but I mean, they look like they are. But they look Valerian, right? Because a Valerian can marry a Targaryen because a Targaryen can marry a Targaryen.
Yeah. But their families are so close or something like that. It was. I went through a whole rabbit hole.
Oh, did you go down the rabbit hole?
Yeah,
okay,
it was something
got
about
it.
the first families, and the Valerians were one of the first families with the Targaryens or something like that. It was a deep rabbit hole. I was almost in China. That's how
really, yeah. So I'm following
tree pulled up.
I'm following a House of Dragon book, and they're talking about how Aegon the Conqueror, right? So the king on this new season is Aegon, but he was named after Aegon the Conqueror. And so now they're going to have, I think, a prequel to say who Aegon the Conqueror was in his story. And so basically, they're like,
Aegon. Go back forwards.
They said Aegon the Conqueror could be black because his mom is Valerian.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So therefore, it's he could be black. You don't know. So, and everybody talks about this Aegon. So would that be something that they would do? I don't know. Maybe. So anyway, all of this sounds like gibberish probably, but I will say that with this season, just to give you a premise of some things that have happened so far, and we're only on episode 4. But to start, it has some interesting things to happen. One is that the last season ended, and I'm going to do it like high level. I won't do it too close to the storyline because number one, if you love it, you've already started watching it. Yeah. Game over. Like you wouldn't have waited. Literally, when the first season came out, they were showing all over TikTok that everybody in this apartment complex's TVs were flashing.
It was for the last.
That's what I'm saying, for the last season. Yep, exactly. Like that's how much. If you love this series, everybody was like must see TV. HBO actually broke, like the internet broke, and it wouldn't allow you to even watch it. It was just spinning and spinning because people were trying to stream it all at the same time, and it wouldn't allow it to happen. The first episode, like that was a thing for the first season. So, but first episode of the first season, I meant, that way. So anyway, so for this, because of how it ended with the potential death of the person who feels she's the rightful heir to the crowned son. Mm-hmm. So Rhaenyra's, I'm going to say it wrong, Rhaenyra's son, who she should be queen, you think he dies. And so she's just going on this mission to figure out, is he dead or not? And if he is dead, we're going to start a war. If he is not dead, okay, how badly hurt is he? Because he was on his dragon, because these folks have dragons that spit out fire and they can fly him in the air and the dragons listen to him and they say Dracarys and then the fire comes out, right? And so anyway, based on that and what happens, and for people who have read the book, they already know more than I do, but it starts this whole situation between her and who used to be her best friend, Alicent, where Alicent, she feels like, helped her son to steal the throne away from her because of the fact that when her father was talking about Aegon the Conqueror, and when he was on his deathbed and saying something about Aegon will rule, he was talking out of his head, but talking about the conqueror, not Aegon, my son. Yeah. And therefore she took it as being, oh, Aegon, your son should be the king. Perfect. You changed your mind on your deathbed. It's not your daughter. It's my son. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's so jacked up.
Yep. And she stole it. Now, what's interesting is that until probably episode 3, you don't know, 2 or 3, you don't know if she realizes that she messed it up or if she did it on purpose. And once you see how something plays out, you start to put together which side of that it actually is. But yeah, so she has some conversation that may give some light to that. Let's just say it that way. Now, also you have Daemon, who again, the uncle husband. So that's the only way to describe him.
The niece wife and the uncle husband.
Yep. He was the brother to the king before the king died. And he is a hothead. Yeah. He just goes out and does whatever the heck he wants to do. And he's just like, you know, he challenges everything.
I'm not going to be king, so I can do whatever I want.
I can do what I want. Yeah. And he feels like he can manipulate, you know, Rhaenyra because of the fact that she's not queen, but he really can't and shouldn't. Exactly, you know what I mean? And he's kind of tortured by her in some of the more recent episodes. Like he will even have visions of her when she was young, before they were even together, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot that's going on with him where he's like a tortured soul in a way, but at the same time, just makes some decisions on her behalf that are the most ridiculous. Like you're like, you should talk to her first before you go and do this, because you doing this, they're going to think the so-called queen, the person who should be queen, is the one that's behind it, but she's not. You just ran off and went rogue and decided to do something. And then when she confronts you about it, you're like, oh well, you know, I'm sorry.
Fine. Well, I did it.
I didn't mean for that to happen that way. And it's just like, dude, like you're making things worse. Yeah. And so in the most recent episode, this is all I'm going to share, is that it was intense. This week, it was intense. So all I will say is that there was a dragon fight. So it was absolutely intense. And the thing about it is, like, of course, they're dragons, so they have fire, and they can, like, it was a war that was going on, and they literally can be so far up, and the bullets and things and arrows don't really impact the dragons. But the other piece to that is that they can, like, annihilate a whole army by just being up and flying over somebody and being able to like just shoot fire out and like burn their little, you know, carts and all that stuff. But also in this battle, the dragons were fighting each other. And this, I don't know, I don't remember ever seeing battles of dragons fighting each other on Game of Thrones, other than what they had done at the end of the first episode. But it was more not trying to have the dragons go after each other. It was about the trying to kill the people on the dragons.
I thought that the dragon that was shooting out the fire, the ice, the blue flame, remember?
Oh, yeah. Maybe that dragon was trying to get to other dragons. Yeah, that's true. And so what you found was, what was Aemon's brother? The one who had his eye messed up. I can't remember his name. But anyway, he is on one of the dragons. You have Aemon on one of the dragons. And then you have Rhaenys on one of the dragons. And so that's the kind of war that's going on, is all of them up against each other. And when I tell you the intensity of that battle was something to behold. I mean, it was... Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, but I really liked it. What I found is that you felt for, even if you didn't feel for people, you felt for the dragons, because you're thinking that's like their pet, like that's their person, you know, and to see what they did in regards to this, and then to know the annihilation that happened in this episode, I would almost dare to say, even if you don't watch Game of Thrones, I would even say for somebody to go to House of Dragon, go to season 2.
You did that
go
with me.
to episode 4 and just watch that episode. You won't know what's going on at the beginning. Maybe just fast
watch
forward.
this fight scene.
Just fast forward.
Just YouTube it.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, YouTube it and just go to the fight scene and be like, oh my goodness. Now, mind you, keeping in mind that you don't know who these characters are, but let's just say you're saddened if you do. I'll put it that way. Another situation, you might be like, whatever. But one, it's like you're pretty sad about it. So, but yeah, so.
Because you did the same thing to me when you were telling about Game of Thrones, because you were like, you should watch this. Like,
just that one episode. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And then you did the episode where everybody was at the lake. Everybody's trying to cross the lake.
I'm trying to remember which one that was.
Everybody was trying to cross the lake. And the, what is it? The Winter King? What is he?
Oh, the Night King?
The Night King had kept rising people as they were killing them.
Yes.
That part,
with Jon Snow.
Yeah. So it was like they were fighting, but then you're now having to fight your own people because as your people are dying, they're turning into zombies.
Right. And the Night
King
can control the zombie. And that's the crazy thing about the first season is that you're just like, wait. Winter is coming. Everybody's talking about that. And you find out that there's these zombies that are roaming around. Like, what is this about? Yeah, ice zombies seems a little weird, but it works. For some reason works. And you're just like, And it's like a folklore at first. You know, like, oh, this doesn't really happen. No, this couldn't possibly be true until you see it. Excuse me. And then when you see it, you're like, OMG. This is it.
They need to bring in the kids from the forest.
Oh yeah, where are they at?
You know,
when did they start? Because they started the Night King.
Yeah, that's why I want to know, how did all of that come about?
Yeah.
Because that actor is actually a pretty decent actor. I've seen him on quite a few things. The one that they had stabbed in that. So I would think that if he signed the contract, that he would be
able to have a backstory to him as to how he became the Night King. Yeah, origin, right, exactly.
That's what they just need to do. They just need to make a whole bunch of mini-series of origin shows. Origin stories. 3 episodes, boom, done.
The thing about Game of Thrones is that it literally had a cast of probably 250 people.
Oh, absolutely.
And so based on that, there are so many side stories that you can go through and find out about. Like, you could just do something about all the hands.
Yeah. Every hand.
You could do every hand. You could do something about every whisperer.
Just to let you know, side note, the hand is the right hand person to
the king. Right. So they have a storyline. You have the person who is the whisperer person, right? So every season you have that person who's hearing the whispers of what's going on out and about in the streets and brings that information back, you know, and uses it for their that has a foot fetish. Remember him with Alicent?
That's right.
He was rubbing her feet. Yeah.
I wonder if that's because his foot's deformed, maybe?
I don't know, but he has a foot fetish. He had the Queen Mom's foot in his hand.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a little bit twisted. I mean, it's a lot twisted, especially when you have an uncle husband and a niece wife. So that part. Yeah, but then the same thing for the first season, because you had brothers and sisters who were having babies together.
Yeah, I mean, they had brothers and sisters
and twins
in this season, brother and sister. Oh yeah.
Well, they were brother sister twins that were having kids, but then in Game of Thrones. But who's the brother sister in this one? I thought it was just cousins. Are they brother sister?
Oh, I thought they were brother sister.
Aemon and his wife. Who's? I'm trying to figure out who we're talking about.
That's not the sister.
I think it's a cousin.
It's a cousin.
I think it's a cousin. I'm not 100% sure.
Who's the cousin of who?
I don't know. They don't explain all that.
The aunt, she is all mixed kids. There's no other cousin that's in. And then she had.
Are you talking about the king's wife?
Yeah.
King's wife. I don't know. I
think there's brother sister.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Sister. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. All right.
And then
but the one I was trying to figure out his name. So you have Aegon, who is the king, and Aemond. Because I was like Damon and Aemon. That's what I wasn't remembering. So Aemon is the one who has the eye that's missing.
Yeah, that's
and he plays a part in episode 4. Okay. So I'm just gonna put that out there. But
it's a lot of things like that. You have the best friend's mother, stepmother.
Yes.
Yeah, best friend's stepmother.
Yes, because her father married her best friend who was very, very young to marry her father, as old as he was.
The cousin, a lot of cousins got married.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Very West Virginia.
It's very royal.
Yeah, okay.
It's very
I like
royal.
that. I like
That's
that.
better. Yeah.
It's very royal.
All right. So on that note, what do you have? But again, I'm sorry. This is on HBO or Max. Sorry. I keep forgetting to call it that. Max. But it's on Max. Again, House of the Dragon. And this past episode was like, to me, a pinnacle episode that before this, it was very slow. I'll put it that way. And now I'm like, okay, now we're cooking with some grease.
Okay.
But all right. There you go. What you got?
I wanted to touch base on some renewals.
Okay.
So you have Bridgerton, Miss Pat season 4.
Okay.
And That 90s Show.
Oh.
So Bridgerton, I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Penn and Colin. You know.
I'm not watching it.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
I mean,
I know she loves Colin.
Yeah. But I will say that she's very body positive in this season.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that.
Yeah, I do love that it's not like she's a size 0 and with perky breasts or anything. You know, you got somebody who, you know, eats.
Yeah.
Doesn't just starve themselves.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, it's the back and forth. It was the thing about Colin and Penelope and them two trying to figure out what's going on with them. So you had the first part of the season and the second part of the season.
Yeah.
Blah, blah,
and,
blah.
And so in regards to that, does anybody know her status or is she still under wraps? If you know what I mean in regards to
season,
her.
Yeah, season's over. So, I mean, I didn't want to spoil it.
No. So that would be a spoiler. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry. Okay. Didn't know that. All right. Yeah. And then,
and they kind of made it seem like it could be possibly, if Shonda Rhimes wanted to, she could make it like, this is it.
Oh, okay.
The way that
so it could be the end. It doesn't necessarily mean it could go on further.
End,
okay.
Because, you know,
well, let me ask my second question.
It's tied up in a pretty little bow.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But there's nothing that's hanging that's making
so it's nothing that would need to be continued. Yeah. And there's nobody from the first season not nobody, but it's not the same storyline from the first season as the second season. So those people are gone.
Yeah, but then
other than her.
But then also because it's called Bridgerton.
Yeah.
And not even knowing that Bridgerton is not even the name of the town. I thought the town was named after the people.
No, it's just the people, right? Or where's Bridgerton?
It's just the family.
Yeah, the family is a Bridgertons.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't know the name of the town.
Oh, okay.
Do you?
I don't care.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't care. Okay.
I don't.
There are some other things that they could go ahead and go with because it's called Bridgerton. You have to go through all 17 of the Bridgerton kids. I remember their names are in alphabetical order. Anthony. Was it Anthony?
Please don't.
Benedict. You don't
Please
hear
don't.
Colin.
Please don't.
I think that it's cute.
I never knew that from the first season. You're saying that's what they said? Never knew that.
I mean, like, it's
don't
not
care.
what they said, but it's A through H.
No.
Last name is Hyacinth.
I don't care.
Wow.
Again, I don't.
Wow.
I just don't.
That is just horrible.
She looks so hurt.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm just saying, okay, well, thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
I mean, if you'd like to, for the people who are listening, if they feel like they would want to hear all the names from A through H, like who would want to hear that?
It's not that many. They're just names. It's not like I'm saying like the United States or something. But so yeah, it's just Penelope and Colin and them trying to figure out what they're going to end up doing.
Oh, I didn't ask my second question.
What's going on with Lady Whistledown?
What? Oh, yeah. My second question was: is there as much relations, let's say intimacy, in this as the first season? Because that drove me crazy. In the first season, I was like, everybody's like, "Oh, you gotta watch Bridgerton." And I was
I don't feel like it's as much. No,
okay.
I don't feel like it's
all
as
right.
much.
I was just asking.
I mean,
maybe now I'll watch.
It is a good amount.
Oh gosh, no, I won't.
But I mean, like, I can't think of maybe 3 sex scenes.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay. Continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just.
But yeah, you do have to go through the rest of the kids. So, one of the brothers is an older brother. He hasn't gotten married yet. And then you have the little younger ones. And and one sister who actually had a love interest. But now I think she's a lesbidyke.
What?
I think she's a lesbidyke.
Like you.
Like me. Tell her welcome aboard, you know?
Sail
the gay seas.
I can't.
Yeah. But no, it is cute. I do like it. But like I said, it could possibly wrap it up in a nice little pretty bow. I wish they would do more of a story on Lady Bridgerton. Like, because since they did Queen Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it had also Lady Danbury in it. So it had both of them in it at the same time. So they could definitely do Featherington and Bridgerton, those two ladies, and their how they came up.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You hear the enthusiasm.
No, I mean,
in her voice.
I just don't know enough to know enough. Okay. You know, so I feel like, you know, they could. It might be interesting. But I think I'm kind of over it. I don't know. Like, for the first season, I watched, but like it was more like background, right? So it was like I could be doing other things.
That's because you don't.
I could be washing clothes. I could be doing whatever, and it wasn't even a com. It was just like a rom.
It's a romance.
What is it? A rom in.
I found out that these are after books. The show is after a book.
You did not know that?
No, I didn't know that because I didn't go to a deep dive of Bridgerton.
Yeah,
because I was like, this is all fake, so it's no reason for me to go into it. But the books were romance novels.
Yes,
so that makes sense why it would be like softcore porn.
Yeah, because this woman, I forgot what her name was, who wrote all the books. Mm-hmm. And so, actually I can Google it, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, and they were talking about like, where did this come from? Where did you get these ideas or whatever? And so, it's almost like how it was with 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. And so how people,
and the whole time I'm thinking this came from the
Julia Quinn. That's her name, Julia Quinn. So you thought it was from Shonda Rhimes' brain? Okay, gotcha. So one is called "When He Was Wicked," another is called "It's in His Kiss," another is called "On the Way to the Wedding," another is called "The Happily Ever After." Okay. So yeah, it's like and that one's called "The Bridgertons." Plural. Oh, yeah. Because it's their happily ever after. But, excuse me, there's a series. Yep, for sure. Yeah. You can buy the whole collection for $110 on Amazon. Okay. So there you go. And 99 cents. Right. But yeah, so it is definitely a lot of, I only went through a few of them, but yeah, it's a thing for sure.
But yeah, so that's what I had for Bridgerton. The third season came out. Technically season 4, if you want to say. Basically, because of Queen Charlotte. Okay. And then Miss Pat season 4 came out. I think we had touched base with you on this, how she was talking about how in this season she said she was healed from some childhood trauma. Mm-hmm. And you watched the episode, and it's a deep episode. But so a lot of people don't like the Miss Pat show. I love the Miss Pat show. You know
I've never watched it.
Because so a lot of people don't like it because it's like, yo, she's so ratchet. She always talks about this. Why is it that the show that's doing good, it has this and this and this and that in it? And,
yeah.
But it's like,
be a little bit more uplifting.
Yeah, but it's like, this show is literally her life and her road to glory as she became.
So if it was ratchet, it was ratchet. She can't fake it.
She always talks about her getting shot in the nipple.
Okay, and she gets shot in the back of the head. I did not know that. Yeah. She got shot in the nipple and like in the same time or two different instances she got shot? Instances, yes. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. She got, I don't know if she got a book or not, but I know that has to be a New York Times best-selling. Wow. Because she been through some things.
How do you put yourself in a situation, or how are you unlucky enough, maybe I should say that, to be in a situation to get shot 2 different times in 2 different scenarios? Bless her heart.
She was a child, and she was a baby having babies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So her kids are grown
with the husband. Oh, yeah.
With a wife.
I mean, a grown man with a wife.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but it's really cute. I do like it. Tammy's in there, and you know, she's still doing her goofy little stuff. You know.
Okay.
But yeah, it does touch base on a lot of different things. So I do like that. Miss Pat season 4. Now that '90s show season 2 came back, and it's so cute because now it's like. It's the kids of that 70s
shows. Yeah.
And now you got Kitty who's like, hey, y'all should just move on back to Wisconsin. You know, just come on back so we can see.
So she's like the grandma now?
So the kids, their granddaughter has not been there.
Oh.
She went back to her mom and dad.
Oh,
she went back to, what's his name? Eric and Donna's. Mm-hmm. Went back.
Okay.
She came to spend the summer with her grandparents.
Okay.
Met these friends who were actually her parents' friends' kids.
Yeah.
And now Kitty's like, oh, the kids are gone. Just tell your friends they can come and use the basement whenever they want. So now it's back to the same thing. So the kids are just always there.
Does it at least look like not the 70s in the basement, or does it still look like the 70s even though it's the 90s?
It looks the same. I mean, it never really looked like the 70s, really, to me.
I thought the couch looked 70s, but maybe it didn't.
It's just a brown couch. I think it just had one of those quilted things on it.
Maybe.
But I mean, like you have where Kitty she ends up being like a mentor to one of the guys because he came out of the closet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
She talks to them about one girl has a pregnancy scare, talks to her about that. Oh. It's
a little deeper. It was deep for the other show too.
Yeah, but this is it's that she's still in it. She's still helping them and she's not.
Is Red still around?
Red is still around.
Okay. Being mean like
Red
he always
is still
has been.
being mean, but he is still soft.
Yeah.
The grandchild, Bob is back. Bob has moved
back.
Bob.
Okay.
Bob has moved back. Donna's father.
Father, yeah.
He has moved back. So the house that was across the street was for sale. Kitty's like, yo, you and Eric should move back. And then Donna's like, you know what, Mom? Because she was like, oh, you called me Mom. She was like, yeah. I think I have a great idea. What's the great idea? My dad's moving in.
Oh my God.
Didn't tell Red.
Oh goodness!
What happens? Hey there, neighborino! Oh God! It was like you could see the smoke coming out of Red's
my
ears.
gosh! Like he's back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like why didn't you tell me? It's a surprise.
Oh my goodness! And so, do any of the parents show up? Like, is Ashton Kutcher in there? Is there?
He was in the first. He was in the first season. He's not in this one.
Okay, got it.
Fez was in the first season.
Okay.
Is he in this one? He might be in
so
this
maybe
one.
they were just helping to get it off the ground, and then they're like, okay, these kids got it.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure Donna has been in a couple of them.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that they're just popping in.
And they're not showing Eric at all?
No, Eric was in the first.
Oh, he wasn't too. Okay, cool.
So I just think that it's probably that they have contracts with us. So it's like, all right, we're not going to write them in. Let's write this person in.
Yeah.
They already wrote in Chong.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah,
cool,
so he's on there. He's still the same guy. What's his name? I can't remember what his name is.
I forgot what it is.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, because it was like...
So he's still the same from the 70s to the 90s.
Yeah,
Nothing
he's exactly
changes.
the same.
Yep.
Still has the gray hair, still smoking weed, still hanging out with the kids.
Hilarious.
Gotta love it.
Hilarious. There are probably people in the world like that, too. Who are just like, hanging out with kids. I'm 60, but, these are my peeps.
Yeah, it's just like, just watch the kids do senseless stuff and just be like, I remember doing that.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I remember when I broke that bone too. Because I did that.
Because I did that. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So, all right, everyone. So that is the end of Sestra-Tainment. We are going to send prayers to everybody who has been dealing with Hurricane Beryl because that has been a lot going on. And so now it's tropical depression, but I hope and pray everybody is doing well and everybody have an amazing week. We'll talk next time. Bye.